Morning.
Good morning.
No, not that much.
Not that much morning.
It's not great morning. It's good morning.
It's okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Hello. I apologize for being too happy for your morning.
There are some people that like their over energy like stresses me out.
Your dad, oh my God, he used to be like that so much earlier on in our morning, and early on in the morning, earlier on in our relationship. Like he would, God, he would wake up.
Good morning. The sun is shining.
I mean, practically. What did he used to sing? I think he used to sing like Rise and Shine.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, rise and shine, like, and just jump up and down on the bed. And I'd be like, no, because I've never been a morning person ever. And he would just be like jumping up and down on the bed and be like, time to get up. And I'm just like, I'm going to kill you. Like, I hated it. It was just so much enthusiasm for so early on. I can't do that. I cannot muster up that much enthusiasm in the morning. I just can't. Even if I have something like super exciting going on that day, like the most I can do is wake up, be a little miserable for a few minutes and then go, I have a cool thing today.
It's only super exciting if it happens in the afternoon or evening.
Well, now, like the older I get, I feel like the more tired I get, and I don't know if mine is just like if that's just typical, like you just get older and you get more tired. But I also have sleep apnea, and then I'm taking a medication that unfortunately causes fatigue, and then on top of that, I have a chronic illness that has brain fog and fatigue as one of the two of the symptoms. So
okay?
It's like I just have. What?
I said, are you okay?
No, I'm not. Like, it just feels like I have like all the odds stacked against me for being awake. And coherent during any given day. And then they're also like, you shouldn't drink caffeine. And I'm like, you know what? I'm at least drinking caffeine. So
Fair enough.
yeah. Yeah.
I've heard that a lot working at coffee shops.
Well, and the other thing that really sucks, honestly, there are times I just want to whine and I just want to be like, look, I really do have a lot of like things stacked against me. Then I have the problem with my plantar fasciitis, which I've had for since I was 20. It's been a problem. We won't talk about how long a time it's been since I've been 20. And I actually had a number in my head, and then I went, oh, God, it's more. It's a bigger number than that. But so that's caused me problems, like, all throughout my life. And it's always caused me to have periods of time when I can't exercise. And I was remembering the other day, I was like, you know what? I used to go for morning walks. And I haven't been able to do that, but the morning walk would perk me up.
Yeah.
I
would just make me more tired.
No, it would give me more energy. And so I'm going to just have to figure out, I mean, I'm probably going to need surgery for this. And I'm hoping like after I recuperate from surgery and everything, then I'll be able to actually walk again and not be in pain for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe I just need to work through the pain so then I can feel awake. I don't know. It sucks. I know there are people with way worse problems, but it really does feel like just staying awake and getting through the day is a challenge.
But hey, once you're actually fully awake,
when will that be?
Yeah. I feel that. What I hate is when I like work a closing shift and then I work an opening shift the next day.
That's the worst.
Yeah. It's not great.
I used to hate that when I did fast food and stuff like that.
But Unless the closing shift is at the downtown location, because then they close mid-afternoon.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's not bad.
Yeah. 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 I guess that's fair.
But that's technically an opening shift and a closing shift, because I work it through the day because it's only 8 hours.
Right.
So
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what?
I don't know.
You practicing being a bard.
I'm delirious. Yes. Yes. I just go about my day making up songs. Actually, I do that anyway. I do.
I mean, at the beginning of each of our sessions, you do sometimes sing or recite.
Each of our Dungeons and Dragons sessions, to be clear, not just every day.
Yes. During each of our podcasting sessions.
But yeah, I sing a song before.
Yep.
Also every night before dinner.
Oh, gosh.
If nobody is here, I do just kind of like sing random stuff when I'm walking around the house, like cleaning and stuff.
Yeah, you sometimes do even when I'm just here.
That's true. Sometimes I forget you're here. And then I'm like,
Fair enough.
I'm like, oh. Like, because I see the car gone, I just assume both of you are gone. And then I'm like, oh, I have an audience. But yeah, that's just, I talk to myself too. And I don't know if you ever heard that.
I don't know.
Yeah, I talk to myself. I sing. I also make a lot of noises, like random noises. I don't know if you've ever heard. Like I'll be doing something. Like I'll be like, I don't know. I can't even think of anything off the top of my head. But I'll like put something. Like maybe I'll put something on a shelf and I'll go boop and like. There's like a whole world I experience when none of y'all are around me that.
You really are just practicing for D&D every day.
Like I don't know. It's really funny because I don't know why, but I just feel self-conscious about it when you all around. So I don't do it when you're here.
I love it.
So I think like you all would be like, if there were like cameras hidden and then you watched it later, you'd be like, who is this person?
I managed to indirectly embarrass Shelby.
Oh, really?
Because I always jokingly, like when I'm eating food, just go
Ow.
or like nom nom or something like that.
Do you do it in restaurants?
I've done it so much that I've made Shelby jokingly start doing it. And there was one time that she was at her family's house alone, not with me. And she did it while she was there. And then she was like, wait a minute. No one understands this.
Oh, I hate, honestly, there's so many times when I hate when, like, some reference that you would totally get, like, comes up and you're not there. And I'm like, oh, man. Like, I'll make a joke but people look at me like, what? And I'm like, oh, Malcolm would have got that. Although David gets a lot of them. David.
Oh, yeah.
And, he just last night, he was like, that person's the worst. And I went, the worst. He was like, yeah. That was a reference to Parks and Recreation, by the way. Jean Ralphio. Okay. Just catching people up if they're not aware.
That one might actually be the more...
Oh, no, it wasn't. It wasn't the worst. It was flush with cash.
Flush with cash to what?
That was the phrase from Jean Ralphio.
Oh, I was saying the worst meme is very popular, so that one might be more well known than some of the other jokes we make.
That's true. Yeah, I guess, yeah. My favorite one is when he says it into Ben's ear and just like slowly pushes Ben to the ground.
Anyway, how has D&D been for you now that it's been a lot more sessions?
I'm still confused. I find it really interesting, but I also find it really, really confusing. And I also sometimes have a difficulty separating the character and the person. like both for me and for other people.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I can't fully get into character because I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And so everything's like on a tape delay for me, right?
Yeah.
Because something happens and I'm like, okay, so what just happened? And then I'm like, okay, so then that happened. So then what does that mean? And then I'm like, okay, so then how would my character react to that? And by the time I'm done going through this thought process, a bunch of other people have already done a bunch of things. And then they're like, why haven't you done anything? You know? And I'm like, you know, and like what I've finally formulated as to what would be my reaction, it's too late.
Yeah.
Like it's already moved on to the next thing. And, yeah. So, and I think I have a tendency whenever I'm doing anything like that, to try to jettison what seems unimportant and hone in on the focus on the important stuff, right? So a lot of times stuff is happening and I'm just like, oh, that's probably not important. And I'm just like, and then I'm like, oh, it was important. Because I just don't, I keep forgetting that like D&D is everything. It's not just like, oh, some stuff happens and then there's a battle and that's when you need to pay attention. There's like all kinds of stuff happening that like you might not, like, I don't know. I can't even think of examples from our campaign right now, but there was something that somebody was like, remember when we were in that toy shop and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I don't, because my mind jettisoned that information because it seemed secondary, you know? Yeah. So, yeah, so it's a really different.
It really burns the scene of the big bad cutting one of the NPCs' heads off, though.
Yeah, I mean, that one sticks in my head. No pun intended. Yeah, so I think if you've never... Now, I think your generation is very different. Like, you have the world of video games, which is more immersive than our video games were.
Yeah.
For my generation. It's more, yours are more story based. They also have more realistic graphics. So I just think you're way more immersed than we were with like Mario Brothers or, you know, Qbert or, you know, or like Space Invaders or, you know what I mean? Like it was the pixelated, you know, not realistic at all. 2D, you know, not, or whatever. 2D? It was flat. And
2D, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I'm even thinking like Pitfall was my favorite. And it was like, I can hear the little spring, like, you know, like you're jumping and you're like, oh no, you fell in a snake and died. Like, it was like, it just wasn't, I don't know, it just wasn't like real. Whereas, you know, I've heard you and others say like, oh, I cried at the end of this, or I cried when this horse died in the game, you know, like, yeah. So I think it's easier for your generation, and probably somewhere in between our generations, to kind of move into the D&D sort of thing and,
that's really
become instantly acclimated. Now, I realize as I'm saying this, D&D started with my generation.
I know, that's what I was going to say. It's really interesting to think about it that way. But I think you're right.
Yeah, so I realized as I'm going on this whole thing, I'm like, but wait, my brother played D&D. And like there was the whole satanic panic like during my time, you know.
That's still funny to me.
So I don't know, maybe maybe that is totally wrong. Maybe everything I just said is wrong. But I think for someone, maybe it's more so that I'm trying to start late in life and do it after, like, a lot of people would probably start playing it at a younger age, when your mind is still a little more like moldable, and like you can kind of get into it right away.
Yeah.
So I don't know, or maybe it's just me and I just suck.
I think it's something you need to just get used to. I don't think there's really much you do in your life that needs like quick reaction, and like I mean you've done stuff like theater before, so you at least have the
And improv.
you at least have the acting.
Well, that's the funny thing. I've done theater. I've done improv. I've actually also done disaster response in a few instances, and I'm very good, like, in those situations. But this isn't real. Like, this is set in a fantasy world that I don't understand.
You have to understand something else entirely.
Yeah. So the question is, like, if I were in a non-fantasized version of this, how would I respond as Tana? If I'm in this fantasy realm playing by these rules, how would I respond as the character I created? So there's like layer after layer after layer that I have to work through to get to that. So I honestly think what I probably should have done, because I just didn't, I was like, yeah, I'll figure it out, I probably should have like watched some tutorials like on like basic D&D stuff, like how does it work? Like how does it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe that's still not a bad idea to just do that.
I have no clue. I haven't really watched much D&D stuff. I kind of just, honestly, I think I just sat down one day and like read all the books.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. And
sounds like a lot of work.
It was. But I also wanted to be a DM. So that does require a lot of work.
How do you like DMing?
I like it quite a bit. I think I'm going to like it a lot more when I'm doing stuff that's my own creation rather than Wizards of the Coast's creation, which is a company that owns D&D.
Oh, got it. Oh. Okay.
And owns Magic the Gathering.
Really?
Yeah. They're part of the same universe.
Really?
Yes.
Ew.
Well, part of the same multiverse. They're not in the same universe.
We had friends that were really into Magic for a while. I don't think if I've ever played Magic, it was like one game when someone was trying to show me what it was about, but that's it.
Yeah.
Well, you're very good at it, by the way.
Thank you.
You're,
I don't perceive myself to be very good at it.
Really?
So, yeah.
Well, to be fair, I don't have other DMs to compare you to. So maybe I'm wrong.
Well, the thing that sucks is that you're like set against people in the industry, which have been doing it for like over a decade most of the time.
Yeah, but okay, so you know what I do have to compare you to?
What?
Big Bang Theory. And like, as far as I can tell, comparing to that, you're very good. Like, you know what I mean? Like
yes.
that's all I've had. Well, I mean, I have seen some Critical Role and things like that. So, and I don't see any difference between you and them. Like, I'm not like, damn, Malcolm isn't as good as those people. Like, you never see.
I can't do the voices that Matt Mercer can, but
I'm
good at the world
stuff.
stuff.
I think you do good voices. I think your voices are good. I think you had some, like, I don't know what is in the book, because I know the Curse of Strahd is a campaign you've done before as a participant.
Yes.
I don't know. Well, you did say some places the other day that you went off book. Like, you had Strahd cut off Ismark's head, and that was not in the book.
No, it was not.
So I don't know, like, other places where you may have added some flavor, or if it was in the, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But some of the characters, I think you, like, you did a fun voice or whatever. And I don't know. I think you're good.
Okay, like I was about to say, half the characters I feel like are just my voice.
Yeah, I feel like just your voice.
Yeah.
What about Blinsky?
That was easier because he like it's literally written in there with like the accent.
Oh, really?
So it's really easy just to like imagine the text as the accent.
Okay.
That might just need to be what I do more because I've always been impressed with like comic books. Comic books will just spell out words differently and you can tell what the accent is when you're reading it.
Oh, okay.
And so I like feel like I need to figure out how to do that so then I can, because then I can imagine the accent perfectly. But if I'm not
Right.
reading it, then my brain's just like,
So-
all right, different pitches.
Right. So what was the catchphrase for?
It's no fun, it's no Blinsky.
But you said it different.
It's no fun, it's no Blinsky.
Yeah. So I could see how like the E's no, it might be like 2 E's and then an S, like E's no fun, E's no Blinsky or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. I think that would be fun. Like I don't have the time to put into that, but
The moment that would give me a stroke is that every time they would put like a W like in the middle of the word or something, so you'd get the happy or something like that. And they have it in happy as HWAPPY, and I just couldn't, my brain just couldn't.
Wait, H
WAPPY as how to say
Happy?
happy.
happy?
And that was breaking my
You
brain.
make me happy? Happy? It's like cool whip. Cool whip.
But I was actually telling Dad this the other day. I was like, the books themselves are fun, but sometimes it's hard for me to react as a character that I didn't create, like properly.
Okay.
And so I feel like when I start doing my homebrew campaigns, that since I will have made all the characters and all of it will just be stored in my head, I'll be able to react properly. But I need to like quickly figure out what all of the intentions and everything are of this character that I wasn't expecting to have a big conversation with, like, and figure that out. But
I think another problem for me with this is sessions are an extended period of time.
Yep.
And I do have ADHD. And so my mind starts to go, like something will happen, we'll do something, and then my mind will start to wander.
Yeah.
And I have difficulty staying on task. So then I miss more information, which doesn't help with my confusion. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, Bryce has the same problem sometimes, and then Dad is always getting messaged by work. So there's a lot of times I'll say something, and then one of the three will be like, "What?"
Yeah. So it is interesting though. It's fun. I just, again, a lot of this comes down to my level of tiredness, and I'm hoping, I have that app that tracks sleep, and I have been at a deficit for pretty much the entire time I've had that app. And there was I had 4 days of great, you're well rested. And then it just went back to terrible. It's just I don't know. It's every time I get myself in order, somebody else ruins my sleep. You know what I mean? It's just I can't win. But my hope is that if I can get myself well rested into some good routines, then instead of just showing oh gosh, it's D&D night, and then showing up and being I'm exhausted and now I'm gonna sit here and I'm not gonna understand what's going on. Maybe I can at least maybe have the time to review my character before we start, or If you would like provide a summary of what we did last time, or because I take notes, but then I try to take notes during the session, and then I look back at them and I'm like, I did not really explain what happened. Like it's just like random notes, like Jewel. Like, I mean, that's not actually anything, but like, although it was this last time. And like, you know, horses, like, it's like, what happened? You know, I don't know. The other thing is like I work a whole day and then I like run downstairs and then I'm sitting at the table. So it's like I'm sitting at my desk all day and then I'm sitting at this table. So I think I also need to work out like, okay, during my lunch on those days, I'm going to do something to exercise. You know what I mean? Like I just need to plan out my time better. So I'm not just sitting all day, because that also contributes to my restlessness when I'm in the session, you know, because then I'm like, by that time, I'm like, I have been sitting all day, you know, so.
Yeah, because then after however many hours you're sitting for work, you sit for another 3 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. And then people hang out and keep talking. And then they finally leave. And then your dad wants to talk more about the session. And then I'm like, it is my bedtime. Like, you need to stop talking because I want to go to bed. And then it's like, you know, so then it's just like a whole exhausting day of sitting and talking, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I just have to figure out the proper balance on that.
Yeah, I do want to make it so that way I can start writing out the game in a story format and start posting it in a separate spot on the Discord so people can read it like it's a story.
Yeah, it'd be helpful because I cannot remember what happens. And then somebody will mention something and I'm like, oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. I mean, of course, that could be helped if I took better notes, but I'm struggling to keep up, you know.
Yeah.
Although there are certain things I definitely remember. Like I love, what is the spell that Abris does that is like a slurping black hole or something?
I don't even remember, but it's definitely like just pure eldritch horror spell, and it's wonderful.
It is top notch.
But it's described in D&D as like it's really cold. You can feel it like being really cold, and it's just like an abyss that basically appears in front of everyone, and it's like a huge range too. Like it could swallow a building.
It's giant.
And all that you hear is like slurping and crunching of anything that's inside of there.
Yeah, what was it? Someone said like Abris's boss was hungry and he just delivered him DoorDash.
That was Shane that said that.
Oh, Shane.
Yeah. Shane was like, my character was hungry and Abris basically just, or my character's patron was hungry and I basically just delivered him DoorDash.
I love it.
Yeah. I love Shane's character. Shane's character is very funny.
Oh, he is very funny.
Let me see if I can find that was my stomach. Yeah.
Thought it was an airplane flying overhead.
It's Arms of Hadar.
Arms of Hadar.
Yeah. Yeah, you invoke the power of Hadar, the dark hunger. Tendrils of dark energy erupt from you and batter all creatures within. Oh, no, that's actually something else.
I was going to say, I didn't think it was Arms of Hadar. I thought it was something else.
Oh, Hunger of Hadar.
Hunger of Hadar, that was it.
Yeah, you open a gateway to the dark between the stars, a region infested with unknown horrors. A 20-foot radius sphere of blackness and bitter cold appears, centered on a point with range and lasting for the duration. This void is filled with a cacophony of soft whispers and slurping noises that can be heard up to 30 feet away. No light, magical or otherwise, can illuminate the area, and creatures fully within the area are blinded.
Nice.
Yep. It literally says it creates a warp in the fabric of space.
Oh. Apis is
And-
powerful.
Yeah. But yeah, every time that he casts the spell, some of us are just going the whole time. And at one point, I don't know if he was telling someone that he was casting it on or something like that, but he was like, ignore the licking.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh. Yeah, there's some funny... That is one thing I always enjoyed. When you started hosting D&D here,
Yeah.
I would be upstairs a lot of times. I think when you started it, I don't think I was... I don't remember. I feel like... I can't remember when you started it. If I was working or if I was unemployed at that time.
2 years ago.
Yeah. But I would be upstairs like working on something or applying for jobs or working on podcast stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
And I would just hear laughter just like burst out at different times. And I just always enjoyed it. I always enjoyed just hearing the sound of laughter in the house.
Yeah.
We used to, as you know, we used to host people at our house like all the time. You know, we had the Sunday lunch thing, and then we had board games every Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just had people over like all the time. And it just slowly kind of, you know, this was when we were younger and the people we were hanging out with were younger than us. And like we were the only one with a kid. And so everybody, you know, young, unmarried, or just newly married. And then, you know, people move away, they get married, they have kids, different responsibilities change, you know. And so over time, that just sort of fell off. Partially also because we moved away to Blacksburg and then came back and everything was different, you know. And so I kind of missed that, you know, kind of missed having just that just people in the house and laughter and, you know, stuff like that. But I had also gotten, you know, sick over time and I didn't really necessarily have the energy to constantly be inviting people over. And so it was like, I got to hear it, you know, and like kind of feel the energy of people in the house, but not be responsible for hosting it.
I'm sure you also heard like very random quotes.
Oh yeah. I would hear really weird stuff and I'd be like, okay, all right. I don't know what that is, but they seem to be enjoying it. But I don't know. It just makes me happy to have people here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and we do have a pretty full house like most of the time now because y'all have D&D Tuesdays and Thursdays. Your dad has a friend over most of the time on Wednesdays. We have game night on Fridays. We have people over on Saturdays and sometimes on Sundays, and it's pretty...
Yeah, Monday is pretty much the only consistently empty day.
Yeah. Yeah.
That can be stressful sometimes.
Yes, it can.
Because it's just like, all right, is someone going to be in the house or not going to be in the house today? But...
Yeah. Yeah. But that'll make me even more sad whenever you and Shelby move out because it'll mean like not only are we losing you two.
Half the week goes empty.
Yeah. And Poppy.
And Poppy.
But like your friends won't just be like randomly stopping by unless we continue to host one of the D&D things here.
It's true. I'm really excited because... Salem's now going to be hosting a D&D session, and I'm super excited to be playing in that. And
he's DMing.
Yep. And they're basically it's like D&D adjacent.
They're DMing. Sorry.
It's like D&D adjacent, and so it has all this like D&D rules and stuff in it, but it's a different setting. And there's a new class in it called Apothecary, and I'm going to be playing that class.
That's interesting.
So
Cool.
yeah.
So you get to drug people.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a mad scientist.
Nice.
Yeah. It's my first time playing a chaotic evil character, and it's gonna be very fun. I'm going to be someone that loves testing new poisons on people. Yeah. The setting is that a city basically got like hit by a meteor and destroyed a good portion of the city, but it also left behind a rare material that everybody wants to get their hands on. So it's created a bunch of factions within this ruined city that are trying to get their hands on this valuable material. And I'm going to have it that my character basically got broken out of prison by this meteor.
Oh, interesting.
So, and I was talking to Salem about this, and Salem was like, I'm also probably going to have it so everybody has to have at least one connection with another player in the group. And I was like, what connection can I have? Did I murder someone's parents or something? like what connection can I have?
Maybe.
I'm thinking of just going the route of like, I owned a company with one of them or something, and then I kind of went off the deep end. Like Otto Octavius. But
When's that starting?
within the next couple months, hopefully. I'll be excited to play a new character. So,
Gosh, that's so many campaigns.
well, I'm DMing one, and then I'm playing two of them. And playing doesn't take much energy out of me at all. It's mostly DMing that does, because I have to like actually
that's a lot more work. Yeah.
plan the whole session throughout the day.
Yeah.
And so it'll just be fun for me. And I love D&D, so I love world building stuff. So if I get to build a character, it is super fun. Even if like 90% of my backstory doesn't actually come up at all, I still have fun because it was fun making that character. And that's why I also think I'm going to be way more excited to play my homebrew campaigns, because I will have made all of it. And so then it's going to be other people enjoying something that I've created, and I'll know it inside and out. So. Cool.
Yeah. That'll be fun. That feels exhausting to me, but that's not like one of my primary interests where I get energy from. So
On my Obsidian for my homebrew campaign that I'm making, on like the homepage for it, I have Aladdin, a whole new world with him flying on the carpet.
okay. That's a choice.
I don't know. I found it funny when I put it in. So.
Oh my goodness, that's so funny. Oh, well, I'll be curious to see what the rest of this campaign has in store.
Yeah, you guys basically opted in for the longer campaign, because Curse of Strahd usually goes until level 10, and I'm making it until level 15.
Oh.
So it's going to be significantly longer.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, I need to do some brushing up on basic D&D stuff. And what I actually need to do is look at my spells and really understand what they do. Because I'm like, it's my turn. I'm like, but I don't understand what this does. And then, Salem's like, it doesn't. Well, if you do this, and then it does this, and then it does. And I'm like, okay, well, I just have the encyclopedia beside me. Like, that's helpful.
I try to simplify it. And then a lot of the time, Salem or Shane will add like things. And I'm like, I'm just trying to keep it like.
Right. On the basic level.
But yeah, Salem especially is just an encyclopedia of D&D knowledge.
Yeah.
And
it's pretty impressive.
It'll make them a very interesting DM, because I have a feeling that they're going to be very quick on rulings versus me.
Oh.
And so I already know Salem's going to be way more strict than I am, and I feel like I'm already pretty strict on my rulings. So I'm going to be very interested in this.
Gonna rule with an iron fist.
Yeah. which is also funny because I'm going to be playing a chaotic character. So,
Oh. We'll have fun.
yeah.
All right.
Well, I think that's all for today, folks.
We'll keep you posted on our D&D adventures as we continue through.
Yes. Don't burn down another village.
Hey. It was an accident.
Bye-bye.
Well, we have to do our Midwestern goodbye.
Well,
Time to go.